Hi there and welcome back to the bar. It's good to see you again, and in this bar chat today we continue this series about being race fit for delivering programs. What do we mean by being race fit? Well, the main thing that I'm interested in is you can build a manual of how you run, or project handbook of how you run your projects in your organization. The question I have is, it's easy to build a manual. It can look fantastic. It can say all the right things. It can have all sorts of methodologies that are proven textbook methodologies. And it sits in a beautiful handbook saying, this is how we run projects and programs in our organization. There's a bit of a twist. The twist is how you make it happen in reality. Because it's very difficult to take what's in the manual and put it into practice across your whole portfolio. Why? Because you're then holding people accountable for disciplines and methodologies that are outlined in a manual, but that aren't necessarily second nature to the people that are doing things on a day-to-day basis. So very quickly, unless you have a way of staying race fit, very quickly those people will revert to launching projects and programs incorrectly or badly. Just going ahead and starting to do stuff rather than planning and getting a good picture of your program or project up front. So here's an example. What do I mean by that? Imagine, I often think of this example. Imagine you are building a house, and imagine you've got the land and it's sitting in front of you, and you've got all the different materials for building your house. You've got bricks over here, you've got plasterboard, you've got roof tiles, you've got cement, you've got all sorts of all the different materials, all in piles, all at the same time, ready to go. And you said to your builders, go for it. And they all just ran for it, and they went and they started doing stuff. So you would have people building the roof before the foundations are done. You'd have, it just wouldn't be properly organized. It wouldn't. The chances of that house falling down are 100%. It is not going to work. So why is it any different with a project? And yet I see time and time again people diving in just to start trying to deliver stuff and not pulling it together in an overarching, well-structured, well-thought-through program. And the thing that actually really sort of concerns me more than anything else is the methodology evangelists. I've been running programs and projects through my business for the last 25, 30 years. I am the first to be absolutely delighted by different methodologies, particularly if they work. So a good example is Agile. Agile is a great methodology, particularly for technology, for software, for anything that's driving technology. But Agile as a methodology does not necessarily deliver the business change and the transformation around the organization. And half of the people, probably 90% of the people in the organization, have got no idea what Agile means. It just is a word that means faster, or it's a way of working that means we're going to do things with more flexibility and quicker, etc., which sounds good. But when you get the methodology evangelists, that's when it just worries. It really worries me, because the evangelism of the methodology starts to move away from what the program is all about. Why are we delivering this program? What's the point of the program? What's the purpose of it? And actually the evangelists tend to then override all of that by saying, this is an agile program. We're doing this agile. We're enabling a more agile organization. And it's not about the methodology. It's about the program itself. And a good example of this is, you might have in your portfolio waterfall projects and agile projects. And here we've got a waterfall lifecycle. This is our PPM tool. But here we have a waterfall lifecycle, and there are different projects in different stages. But here we've got agile buckets. There's no such thing as a life cycle, but agile buckets. But the thing that I would say is you can have your sprints, you can have your epics, you can have your releases, and everything can be structured and managed properly. But do it under the surface, because actually the methodology at the end of the day is relatively, it's of course it's important, but it's not the main event. The main event is actually about the program itself. And this is what we've been looking at throughout this whole series is, a program that's properly defined, etc. This, what we're looking at here in the V-Bar, which is our online virtual project room, we're looking at a project that is here to deliver various different outcomes and outputs. And the vision and the objectives, the benefits, the scope has got absolutely nothing to do with the methodology, but is crucially important. And that is the key aspect that needs to be put in place in order to have the foundations of a successful program. And going back to the building analogy, the key thing here is actually when you're walking into that building site, there needs to be architect's drawings. There need to be plans. You need to build the foundations before you build the walls and the rooms. There's got to be a structure and an approach to it, which of course is the methodology. That is your methodology. But as far as the program is concerned and to all of the key stakeholders, it's actually all about what happens above the surface as opposed to below the surface. Your methodology is happening below the surface. Your engine room, the way you do things, happens below the surface. What matters to the key stakeholders is what's happening above the surface. Why are we doing this? What difference is it going to make? When are benefits going to be released? When are we going to see a difference in the way we work? When are we going to retrain our staff to do things the way that they need to be done with this new system we've got being implemented, or whatever it might be? So avoid evangelizing methodology and focus on what sits above the surface, which is the stuff that matters to 90% of the people around the organization. Good luck with it. Thank you for coming to the bar chat today. It's been great to have you in the bar, and I hope you've enjoyed the topic we've been talking about. Now, if there's anything in this topic, if there's anything in this bar chat that's particularly resonated with you, or there's a challenge that you're facing with your portfolio or your program or your stakeholders or whatever it might be, then one of the things that I'm offering is a free private bar function. So you can either come into our very own bar and come and be a part of it, and I promise you there'll be a drink waiting here for you, or I'll come to you, or we'll have a phone call, and we can maybe kick the tires on over a bar chat on a challenge that you're facing internally with your program, portfolio, or whatever. If you want to do that, please take me up on the offer. I don't expect anything in return, and I really genuinely don't. You're very welcome to just click the link in the post on LinkedIn. There's a link in there. Connect and register, and we will be in touch to sort a private bar function out. Come and see me in the bar.